No site should be hampered. And one thing that the EIS does not address is that there's over 300 sites that are eligible on DoD lands and the proposed lands within the EIS for inclusion on the National Historic Registry of Historic Places and also the Guahan Registry. But the EIS does not address the lack of trained personnel at HPO and other agencies to, at the same time, fill out these documents that protect them, as well as approve permits and keep up with the daily task that the buildup and other constructions outside the base may have for approving permits for construction and whatnot, to have the thorough, I'm sorry, I'm jumbling, because I have so many thoughts that are within me, because really, this is so overwhelming. I could make comment on every single one of those things, and I really, really, really want to encourage every single person to come up here and take advantage of this opportunity, because this is the only opportunity that we have to voice our concerns, and it's really, really sad that this is the only place for us. And it's an insensitive place, it's an intimidating place for us to be speaking to each other like this about these plans about our island, and I really, really want to encourage you, if you're afraid, don't be afraid. Come up here and say what you need to say, because this is our island and we really, really need to come out in full force to protect it. If we don't, what about him? What is he gonna get? Please.
This 11,000-page document. Today, though, I would like to speak about some of the things that are missing from the display boards that are really important, especially for people in this village. First of all is water, and Dr. Hattori started speaking about it, but our water is threatened to be depleted, our fresh water source, and the plans in the DEIS include plans for a desalination plant, which show the intent to exhaust our fresh water supply. This not only increases the chances for contamination, but it makes us more dependent on the Department of Defense for our most basic necessity in life, which is water. And if we can learn from our history, whenever a ship comes in, people from this village experience water shortages because the priority is always given to the military. And so if the military and the Department of Defense and the 80,000 people who are coming here are going to deplete our water source, then we need to begin to challenge that, because we need water to live. Secondly, the landfill. On the display board it says that you will begin to, once the landfill is built, or when we figure out where our landfill is going to be, you're going to be using our landfill. ORDOT is largely contaminated because it began as a Navy dump site. And there is nothing in the EIS. How are you going to guarantee that you're not going to continue to contaminate our lands? And all of that waste from the 80,000 more people that are coming here will just continue to pile up. And before we know it, we will have more waste than people in our lands. So we must learn from our history and not allow that to happen. Next is the population increase. There will be 80,000 more people coming to this island at its peak, but there are also 9,222 people who will be visiting the island as many as 63 times a year on a nuclear aircraft carrier. These are people who are known to be to frequent sex industry types of establishment, and that's not the kind of island that I want for my children. That's not the kind of economy that sustains us as a people. Also, these are people, including the other 80,000 people, who don't know our community like we do and will not fight to protect the things that you have just heard people speak of. So we need to pay attention to that. We can't sustain 80,000 more people, and we should not be asked to take on that burden. Also, the part of this community will be sending money off island. A lot of them will be coming as construction workers who will be sending money back to their families and who may not leave when that peak ends. And so how will we, our social services and our government services, be able to support them when a lot of their money will be leaving the island? And lastly, and this is very important, our land. People from down south, it was not made very clear when we first came, but Mount Lam Lam is an area that is slated to be taken as an access road. Also, Pauget is slated to be taken, and there are families who live there, and there are endangered species are the families who live there. You have a whole display about endangered species and habitats. We are the largest endangered species on our island. We will be a minority here. Our habitat is our island. Our island is what we have. We are this island. This is the habitat we must protect. You say that you want to minimize impact on cultural and historical sites. We can have no impact on these sites. To ask a family to leave their home for a firing range is insulting, and we must not allow that to happen. Thank you.
In the interest of time, I will keep this brief. As the daughter of Suffragan landowners, I am very concerned with how this buildup will impact our community. But I wanted to reflect on some of the comments a gentleman earlier spoke passionately about. He mentioned he was concerned because he has daughters. Okay, Volume 2, Chapter 18 indicates that the peak construction period will contribute to the increase of sexually transmitted diseases in the community. Now, despite research from criminologists, including Dr. Catherine Lutz of Brown University, the research states that Marines and sailors on shore leave are notorious for sex industry consumption. Now, despite this research, the DEIS alleges that the impact on our community is less than significant, okay? As military installations have their own hospitals and clinics. Now, I suspect that, like many of you have concerns, like I do, that this less than significant impact will in fact significantly impact our community. And I want to know what is going to be done to address that. Thank you.
I'm from the village of Manilao and a daughter of Guahan. Protegidos and defending y cultura y lenguaje y aire y hanum zanitamu Chamorro. This is our responsibility, Tata Guahan, to protect our island. And the fact that the environmental impact statement doesn't recognize our culture, which is very much a part of who we are. It is who we are. Our land is who we are, and the military is about to destroy it. This is called Reoccupation Day, aka Liberation Day. Every 21st of July, the people of Guahan march in their red, white, and blue, thanking Uncle Sam and his men in uniform. The Chamorro people were freed from over 370 years of forced Catholicism and forced last names, from bowing to Yakoys and forced death marches. But they continue to be enslaved by drafts and recruitments, by the land of the free. Itanu itatahu pagu idzoniha. They took Sumai and used it for their military. They made us citizens, but denied us the vote. They stole our language and made us speak English. But our history books, they say that we're free, that we're making good money from tourism. But as I drive through Tumhom, my view of the ocean obstructed by the outrigger and the Hyatt, I think of the stories Tata used to tell me about the Lati stone huts that once lined the ocean, and how they were bulldozed to keep up with the times. Itatahu trabihati man libre. My people are not free. Fakmata Tata Guahan, because our island is about to get reoccupied and re-destroyed. If we don't fight, especially young people, and man uncle, I do respect you and I understand where you come from. But we have to think of our future, our children, ourselves, because we won't have a land to call home.